girl, welcome to my channel. I'm so happy that you were here with me. I thought that I would record a separate little intro for this because this cake, wow, I did not think that this cake was going to end up being so difficult to make. Maybe it's because I put so much pressure on myself to have this cake perfect because I was going to record it. It was for my niece's birthday, that I just wanted it to turn out really well. And then when little things started going wrong, I was just like, oh no. And so I actually nearly stopped filming halfway through because I'm like, I am just going to look really silly. I'm very lucky to have such wonderful friends that when I was just really down about what had happened, they were just like, you know what, just keep going, just keep recording it, see what happens. And I did, and I hope you guys enjoy. I'm going to be making a cake today. Somewhere along the lines, I have become the cake maker of the family. If I can find some images, I'll pop up some stuff of what I have made throughout the years. It hasn't been a lot, but there's been a few. And last year I volunteered to make my niece's birthday cake. So she requested a chocolate Nutella Malteser cake, and I had to have one of those tiny little Nutellas on top. Let's face it, the Nutella is the most important thing. And her mum gave me a call a couple of weeks ago and, hey, do you mind making her birthday cake again? I'm like, sure, why not? What I'm going to be making is a cookie dough layer cake from Delicious. I've actually made this once before. It's actually the first layer cake I ever made, and it was for my Max's 30th birthday. I didn't realize how good this cake would turn out, and I'm actually quite scared that I'm not going to be able to make it as good the second time around. But here we are, we're going to give it a go, and hopefully I don't mess it up. And you're going to come along for the ride with me. So let's get going. I've already procrastinated enough today. I probably should have started 2 hours earlier, but it is what it is. I will just make it work. Now, in saying that, I actually do this in probably about 3 stages. I bake the cakes, and then I cool them in the fridge, and then later on I will top them, do the buttercream, and then at another stage I will do the drip and the decoration. So again, let's get going. Okay, so my kitchen isn't the best for filming, but we're just gonna work with it. We are going to cream the butter and sugar. I've already got all of my butter all diced up. It's all unsalted butter as well. It says that in the recipe, so don't come at me. Alright, so we're gonna beat this for 5 minutes until pale and fluffy. Okay, so she is looking pale and fluffy. So this is after 5 minutes, maybe an extra minute, because my butter was like super cold. Now it is time for the eggs, and we're putting in like 8 eggs. We're doing one at a time. Crack them into another bowl first, just so that you don't get any shell in your mix. That's a big no-no. And I forgot to add the vanilla, so I'm just gonna add this now. I pre-sift my flour just to make life easier. And let's fold that in. I half didn't want to film this because I am seriously such a messy baker. I'm always scraping the bowl just to make sure that it is all incorporated. It's starting to look good, so it's time for the chocolate. Alright, so we're combining cocoa powder and milk in a bowl. I'm using normal almond milk because that's all I have. Don't at me. You won't even know the difference. Cocoa powder. I think that I've legitimately gotten cocoa powder everywhere trying to do this. No chocolate gets left behind. I'm so messy. I've just reread the recipe and I've done it in the wrong order. I'm sure it'll be fine. I was meant to put the chocolate in before the second half of the flour, along with some baking powder. I'll just be added in now. It'll be fine. This is what I get for stressing over recording this instead of actually paying attention to the recipe. It'll be fine, I swear. I'm just gonna go over this once in the spatula to make sure it's all mixed together, and then we can put it in the tins and put in the oven. Got to leave something behind for bad bags to try. Okay, so since our mix is all done, I am going to put it into our prepared cake tins. So I'm not like the best at doing these, and these are 8-inch, but you know, I try my best. Look, I've already got everything ready. Look. So I tried to fill them as evenly as possible, flatten them out as much as possible, but again, I'm a super messy cook. So let's get these bad boys in the oven. Oh my God. Oh, oh crap. So I may have had a bit of a disaster. As I was picking the tin up, the base fell through. So, it should be salvageable. Oh, I've got cake all over me again. Have to find another cake tin. So, yeah.
Whoa. Here we go. Shit. I don't know which way to put them. I think I gotta do this. One. Two. Well, that's 2 cakes in. Fingers crossed I did it right for Mel. Okay, so I rang Mel to like double check. It's not meant to be on the bottom shelf, it's meant to be on that shelf. So I've swapped it. It's been 2 minutes. Yeah. I'm just home from the gym and you saw me almost stuff that up. But since Mel's not here, I've got to go and get stuff for her, but I'll get it in 2 seconds. Since Mel's not here, she's left It is really, really good. So I'm gonna finish this and all that because God, it's good. It's so good. Shit. Damn, this girl can bake. Yes, I am sitting on the floor eating the batter from the chocolate cake. No, I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed one bit.
Accurate.
I swear this happened because I decided to film it. Oh well. It's happened now. I'm trying not to cry because there is no crying in baseball. I've sent Mad Max on a mission to try to find another tin. It seems to be out of stock everywhere close that we live to, so I don't know if I'm going to find another tin. Worst comes to worst, it'll be a 2-tier cake. It won't look as impressive, but hope is not lost. We'll see how this turns out. So the reason I actually can't use the same cake tin is because I was storing them within each other and I've stretched out one of the springform exterior bits. That's why I need a new one. So it's actually because the weight of the actual cake is so heavy. If it was a lighter cake, it would have been fine. But no, the tin is done. I need a new one. I wish I had a thought of that before I started the cake. It's done now. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. We have a new tin.
Leia the baker. Hello, princess.
If you're wondering about the hair, I will tag the nerd stream in, but I'm meant to be on Friday Night Live right now, and I'm trying to put this tin together.
Okay, because that tin stuffed up like you saw happen earlier.
Yeah. So I'm. Alright, this is gonna be really gross.
I'll just a bit of. Ooh, cake. Mel's gonna have to have a hard time. Ooh.
Alright, so this is a disaster. Luckily enough, it'll fill in on itself and not the floor. Alright. I don't know how this is gonna work, but.
It'll work.
Oh my gosh. Hang on. Hang on. Let's just dump this in here. I may need. Oh man, I'm having a disaster.
You're doing fine, don't worry.
I'm not.
You're doing fine. Can you see with their sunnies on?
I can.
Don't use the spatula because I licked it.
Alright, I think that's as much as I'm going to salvage, so.
It looks good.
Let's see. Hopefully I'm a bit worried about the width because it's a different tin.
It should be fine. Worst comes to worst, you put it in the middle or at the top. Nah, put it in the middle. Alright, but in the top shelf, not like what I did before.
Fingers crossed this works out.
Fingers crossed.
Okay, so it's like at 5:15 in the morning the next day. So I feel like I'm having a disaster. Like, it's probably not a disaster. It's just me and my perfectionist ways. So the cake tin was slightly the wrong size. So now I have 2 cakes that are the same size and 1 cake that's slightly too big, and I'm gonna have to cut down. To most people it's just like, yeah, no, that's fine, and me, I kind of half had slight emotional breakdown because it's me and I like everything to be perfect, and I'm just like, it's not going to be perfect and I'm going to look stupid. It's like, I know at the end of the day there's going to be buttercream on this thing and candy and chocolates and all that kind of stuff, and it's for a child's birthday, so it's like, why am I worrying so much about this? I'm just a warrior. Ugh, I don't know what's wrong with me. I just need to get on doing this. If I record it, I record it. If I don't, I don't. God, I didn't even put makeup on for this. Jesus. Why am I doing this to myself? Who knows, maybe if I record myself doing these types of things, I will feel more comfortable making mistakes. Because I feel like that's why I put off filming a lot of things, because it's just like, Mel needs to be perfect, and it's just like, well, Mel's far from perfect. Alright, let's just top these cakes, and they get soaked with a little bit of Kahlua. Yes, I know it's a child's cake. No one's going to get drunk off a slight bit of Kahlua in a cake, so it's fine. Well, at least I got a kind of half cute like background colour, considering it's dark and I haven't really got any other lights on, but my range would light. My handy dandy tools, a ruler and a serrated knife, well, a bread knife. If you're ever wondering if I'm a professional, yeah, I'm totally a professional. I literally just go around the cake with the same measurement and the knife. I'll probably speed this up. Ta-da! I've topped one cake. So there you go. So, and then those are for eating later. And this is literally a Lazy Susan from IKEA. I want to taste just some of this. So this one, because it was a slightly bigger cake and it was also the mess, layer isn't probably going to be as thick, and then I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to trim this to match the size of the other cakes. Actually no, I think it'll be around the same thickness. I guess I'm just gonna I may have shaved too much off. It'll be fine, it'll be covered in buttercream. Hey, I'm just gonna soak them and then put them back in the fridge and start the buttercream. Alright, so the cakes are all soaked, and now I've gotten to this stage, I'm like, why am I being so like silly over this cake? And I'm hungry. Maybe I should eat breakfast and not any of the bits that I've taken off the cake. So I'm making the Swiss meringue buttercream. So egg whites and sugar in a bowl over simmering water, and I just whisk it until the sugar is all dissolved. And I use the whisk from the KitchenAid so I don't get anything else dirty. It's just easier to transfer it from here to here. Okay, so this is what it looks like after 10 minutes of whipping. Because we heated this all up, you have to let this cool, because otherwise we're going to add butter in now and that butter will melt. Okay, so all of this butter needs to go now into here. Slowly, slowly. Getting there. Starting to come along. Okay, so this is with all of the butter incorporated. So now it's time to add milk powder, salt, and vanilla extract. Ta-da! How's it looking? Okay, so the recipe says to put 2/3 of this into another bowl and then add these. 2/3 seems like a lot, but I guess the bit with all the chocolate in it is going into the center of the cakes, and then the rest of this is to ice the outside. I think I split it up about 50-50, because if my memory serves me from last time, I ended up with too much of the filling for the inside and not enough for the outside, and I had to try to like scrape out bits of like the chocolate from the buttercream. Cocoa nibs. So to roughly chop the chocolate chips. We don't get mini chocolate chips here, or I can't find them anyway. My God, it's been like half an hour, I could barely chop it, so we've got some chunks. Okay, so this is our frosting for the center of the cake. So this goes in between 2 layers of the cakes, and this is to ice the outside. So our tray comes back. We've got our, we have our cake board. So I get a cake board that's a size larger than the cake. So this is like a 8-inch cake. I got a 10-inch cake board, so I've got like enough room around the outside to like hold it. Okay, so, oh my God, that looks so bad. All right, so it is assembly time. With your last cake, always flip it. Okay, so layers are all done. I filled in all of the little gaps, and now we pop it in the fridge, let it set, and then we do the outside. Okay, so I feel like I made a slight mistake. I reckon maybe I shouldn't have filled all the gaps with the cookie filling. I should have filled it with this, because now I reckon when I crumb coat, I'm going to end up with all the chips and all that on the outside of the cake. It's going to be a naked cake anyway. We'll make it work, I'll make it work. Don't follow what I'm doing, okay? Alright, so I just wanted to make sure that there was enough buttercream to cover the cake. And now I'm going to use my handy dandy ruler to kind of get it all neat and tidy. Alrighty, my hands are actually like shaking trying to do that. Alright, cool. So we've got our outside buttercream done. Now it's time to clean up the edges, put it back in the fridge, and I've got to make the caramel next. And I'm a little bit worried about it. Although the first time I did it, I was alright. So we'll see how I go. I'm getting there. I'm getting there. So caramel drip, decorate. Oh, it's caramel time. Alright, so cup of sugar. 2 tablespoons of water. And then we put that on a medium heat. Yep, medium heat. Swirl this until it all dissolves and then goes golden in colour. Okay, so I messed up my first caramel. I'm trying again. So I've just had a massive cry because I crystallized 2 lots of caramel. And I don't know how I did it. I've never had caramel mess up on me like this before. It just feels like this whole process of doing this cake, everything is just gone a bit pear-shaped. So I'm gonna think of a solution. You know, I think I have a solution. Chocolate ganache drip. It's gonna be. Okay, so we've got all these chocolates to go on the cake once I put the drip on it. And we can't forget the little baby Nutella. So that will be the back of the cake. Cake's done. The cake is done. Thank God for that. Not the way I wanted it to turn out, but it's the cake we got.
3 days later.
So my niece absolutely loved the cake. So it made all of the blood, sweat, and literal tears all worthwhile. Because, yeah, at the end of the day, it was, you know, for my niece's birthday, and as long as she enjoyed the cake, like, that's all that really matters. The cake hadn't quite turned out the way that I had planned it to, but it still ended up turning out pretty cool. Or at least I think so. And it's just like, damn you, caramel. I have no idea what went wrong with that. Like, I didn't stir it too much. The pots were clean. So maybe there was something wrong with the actual sugar I use. I didn't actually buy the same brand sugar that I normally use. I actually just used the no-name brand that you get from the supermarket. So I'm half hoping that is what the problem was, and that the problem wasn't me. I half want to try and attempt to make the caramel again, just so that I can prove to myself that I can make the caramel. Also, when it comes to the cake tin, in hindsight, the cakes are in the oven for about an hour, and recipe says that you're meant to cool the cakes completely in the tins. So that was the reason why I was trying to get another tin. You know how like cakes have all like the active ingredients in it, so it's got, you know, like the eggs, the baking powder, the self-raising flour. So I didn't want the batter to sit for too long, you know, with those raising agents already working. But thinking about it, like if I honestly couldn't get another tin, I could have just waited until the cakes had cooled down and then reused one of the tins that I already had. The beauty of calming down and looking back and realizing, oh, whoops. But even though I used a different tin and it was slightly bigger, I cut it down. It wasn't that big of a drama. You wouldn't have even been able to tell. So again, I was being silly over nothing, as I do. Guys, let me know what you think of the cake. Also, let me know if there's some other recipe or cake that you want me to try. And most importantly, please like and subscribe the video. I can't tell you how grateful I am for every single person that watches. And yeah, I guess I will see you guys next time. Bye. Mwah.